style journey again. Today I'd like to chat about 10 things that I no longer do or I no longer buy. I have seen quite a few of my favorite YouTubers do this tag, and it's quite intriguing and quite interesting how different we all are and the things that we have deemed less important. And I think especially during this time of a worldwide pandemic, a lot of us have taken stock of what is really important in our own lives and what are the things that we are able to let go of. So in no particular order of importance, I'm just going to speak through certain things that I've now stopped doing, stopped buying, or that just no longer interest me. It was easy for me to come up with 8 of these points. There are so many little things that I just don't do anymore, and those were the easy things for me to come up with. So let me share those first. So the first thing that I don't do anymore is I don't color my hair. And that was a conscious decision I made before the pandemic happened. My daughter got married in February and I decided to color my hair for the very last time in January, when I colored it and had it cut and styled in the style that I wanted. I made a decision to try and see if I like my own hair. There's quite a lot of grey. I will do a little close-up for you, and I'm quite enjoying my color. I hadn't realized just how grey I had actually gone, but I'm celebrating that. I did tell myself right in the very beginning that if I didn't like it, I would give myself permission to color it again. So far so good. It's grown out about 3 inches and I'm liking it. The second point is also to do with my hair. This is something that I haven't been doing for quite some time. I don't heat style my hair. I have been watching some tutorials on getting those pretty beach waves, and I did invest in a GHD. Silly me, I could have used that for many other things. I found that I prefer just leaving my hair to air dry, and it's healthier for my hair, especially as I am so grey. There's a lot of brittle hair, plus I've got curly hair, so it is just healthier for me to leave my hair to air dry. Since doing this, I will say that the quality of my hair is far healthier. I don't have breakage, I don't have split ends, and it's just looking much better. The third thing that I don't do is my nails. So I have quite short fingers. I don't have fat fingers, but for me they're very rounded at the top. They're actually very straight, but because they were so short, I always felt that gel nails gave me a little bit of length in my fingers. Due to lockdown, the nail salon was closed and there was no one to do my nails for about 3 months. After 3 months we went on to a softer lockdown and the nail salon contacted me. Would I like to come back and do my nails? And I just made a decision that I'm not going to do it. It's not that the gel that they used was unhealthy for my nails. In fact, I really felt that my nails were strong. It never destroyed my nails in any way. It wasn't just soak off gel, you had to buff it off with a little tool. I made a decision that I'm just going to celebrate my own nails and my own hands, and if I need to, I could just put a light nail polish on. And that is what I've been doing, and I'm happy. The fourth thing that I no longer do is I don't wear high heels. I did have an operation on my left foot in November last year, and since then I have had trouble with swelling of the foot. It seems like my foot is bigger than it was before, even though I did have a bunion removed. But the surgeon has assured me that the swelling will go down. I'm trusting that that will be the case. The only time I will wear high heels, the only time I'll make that concession, is if I have a function, if I go out to dinner and I know that I'm just going to walk from the car to the restaurant and back to the car again. I need to be kinder to my feet, so no more high heels for me. I also no longer do microblading. So I've done microblading about 4 times. I have very little eyebrow on this side. But due to overplucking as a young woman, my eyebrows have become very, very sparse. But honestly, as soon as you get used to just putting them on every day, and I use a little brush, I just use whatever eyeshadow that matches my skin and matches my hair, I just use that. And it's become part of my routine, and I've just decided I'm not going to microblade ever again. Before I go on to the next point, I really just want to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. It would be great to have you here every single week on my channel. I have a very small channel with a very small following, but I'm really amped to grow it. So I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, give me a like, it really helps with the algorithm. And I would very much love if you could come back and visit this channel again. I don't buy magazines anymore. This was quite easy for me because for the last 5 or 6 years I've been loving Pinterest, and obviously I love finding inspiration on Instagram. So I do follow a lot of decor and home accounts. That is the kind of magazine that I tended towards buying. I never bought fashion magazines. I just find, like Baz Luhrmann says in the song, they just make you feel ugly. But I would tend to buy home and decor magazines, and magazines with patterns in, maybe a knitting pattern or a crochet pattern. I enjoy doing those kind of handcrafts. But now with everything so easily available on the internet at the click of a button, and because I do a lot of work online, I don't really buy magazines at all anymore. I don't think I can even remember the last time that I bought one. It must be more than 2 years now. Somewhere at the beginning of lockdown, I went to see a gynecologist. Last year I was put onto an HRT by my GP, which did not bode well with me. I developed a condition called erythema nodosum. It was bumps on my shins, and together we decided that after 3 months and these bumps not disappearing, that I would stop that HRT, and she suggested that I go to a gynecologist. I have a wonderful gynecologist, but he is also an obstetrician, and he's a very good obstetrician, so he is always fully booked with pregnant ladies who want to have their babies with him or have him deliver their babies. And I just realized how that sounded. They don't want to have their babies with him, but he delivers them. So I had to find a new gynecologist, and I found her during lockdown. She was able to see me, which was great. She really listened to me. I feel that I had a good rapport with her, and I felt very good about the new HRT that she recommended for me. But in less than 3 months, I had gained 8 kilograms. It was just too much for my body. I'm 5'2", just 5'2". I'm 1.58 meters tall. And 8 kilograms extra, I can't carry that. I also found that I was carrying a lot of excess water. My ankles and my feet were very, very swollen. So were my wrists and hands. I was hardly able to put on my wedding ring. So without consulting her, and I need to go back to her, I do realize that, I did stop the HRT after 3 months. My weight has sort of stabilized. It's come down about 2 to 3 kilograms. It has not gone down to my pre-HRT weight, but I made a decision during this part of my journey that I'm not going to weigh myself every day. That was something that I had done and have done since I was about 25 years old. I think because I'm short, and because I don't particularly put on weight in any specific place, I'm the kind of person who puts on weight everywhere. So I made a decision that getting on the scale every day was so depressing. Every single day I would get on the scale and I'd be a half a kilogram more or 1 kilogram more. So after being off the HRT for about 2 months and becoming still so despondent and so depressed with my weight, and allowing that to set the tone for my day, because it was the first thing I'd done every single morning since I was 25, I made a decision, and it was a tough one, like a drug for me to know what my weight is. I made a decision not to weigh myself. So I'm saying this whole big spiel just to say that in order to save my sanity and to make me feel good about myself, and it really is all about how you dress your new body, how you present yourself to the world. There's so much more to life and to you being you than your weight, that I feel quite free, that almost 30 years of weighing myself every day has gone down the toilet now, and I do step on the scale, I will admit, about once a week. Sometimes it does make me feel a little bit down, but I have to celebrate that this is the new me. And I know that there are women out there who do a lot of hard work to keep the extra kilograms off. I am not an exercise fanatic. I do what I can to stay healthy and fit, relatively fit. I love to walk, I do a little bit of yoga, I love to dance, I dance around to songs, and I do that rather because that brings me joy than being so obsessed with every little pound or kilogram that I carry extra. And I must be honest with you, it has done wonders for my psychological health. Another thing I no longer do is I no longer compare myself to other women. This is a huge thing, and I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of women do this. But it's been about 2 years now that I don't ever look at somebody else and say, oh, they've got this, I wish it was me. I really can say, I love how she dresses, or she's got amazing hair, or look at her beautiful nails, or her slender long fingers, and not feel like I have to live up to that. I just feel that as a 53-year-old woman, I really want to celebrate everything about myself. That goes also for my business. I'm building a social media presence, and it's going extremely slow, and I would have loved it to just explode and expand, but it hasn't. And you can get into that rut of comparing yourself with other women who started with you and who are much further along the road than you. But I've just decided that this is my journey and this is my path, and I'm going to celebrate every little milestone and every little step that I'm able to achieve, and that in itself is a blessing. I was struggling to think of another 2 points, and my husband amazingly came up with them. And he said to me that 2 of the things that he's noticed during lockdown that I've specifically done is I no longer watch mainstream media or mainstream news. I refuse to watch the news. It is so depressing. I live in South Africa. We've gone through a very tumultuous political time. We are still in the midst of that. Our government has literally failed us during COVID. But if I watched mainstream news, I would be a wreck every single day. So there are specific people that I follow. I trust that they've done the research necessary, and I try as far as possible to look for good news. I think we're all in a time where we're questioning our governments. I don't think that South Africa's alone in that regard, but I do think that our issues are unique to our country, and I've honestly chosen just to focus on the news that makes my heart happy. It's not that I'm being naive, I'm not pretending that this isn't happening. I am keeping abreast with the statistics, but I'm not allowing that to be my focus. And I am much healthier since I've made that decision. The last point that I want to address today is that I no longer impulse buy. And my husband reminded me of this. It was great for me to hear that from him, because he has seen me buy willy-nilly for the last 5 years plus, since I've discovered what my style is or what looks good on me. And it's been great to not actually impulse buy. I do have a list, and I do buy mostly according to the list. I will be honest, lockdown has challenged me quite a bit, where buying is concerned. In the beginning of lockdown, I had no desire to buy. I had no desire to even get dressed. I was in sweats and really casual clothes every single day. I could have worn the same sweatpants and just changed my t-shirt for the whole week. But I would say in the last 2 months, from about the beginning of August, I have started buying again. I did a lovely haul that I shared with you with a lot of conscious clothing and beautifully made clothing, great quality clothing from good brands. I did a little bit of secondhand shopping through the first part of lockdown, but for me it was more about supporting other people. Let me not kid myself. I did also enjoy having those pieces in my closet, but they weren't thoughtful pieces and they weren't necessarily all on my list. So I did a little bit more shopping recently, secondhand, and those are pieces that I really love and I will treasure. I know that. So this is a journey. This is by no means a destination. I'm not coming here and saying to you that I have found the formula and I have arrived. This is my journey and I've been very honest with you as I progress. These are the 10 things that are important to me. These are the 10 things that I've decided to let go of, and they are 10 things that not having in my life and not having to do in my life are definitely making me happier and less stressed. So I would love to hear in the comments what your 10 things are. What things have been important to you to let go of? Has this time of the global pandemic been a time that you have reflected inwardly and seen that there's certain things that you really don't need in your life and you've been able to let go of them? I'm very interested to hear your comments. Thank you so much for watching. It's been great to be here with you, and I will see you next time.